decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's go.
There it is.
Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
And if anyone deserves to get tears in his eyes, it's Charlie. I think we all agree.
I think Erica was chucking some onions or something in the break room.
No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God.
It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone.
That's all.
Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania.
It's done.
There you go. Right on. You got it.
Charlie Kirk has been shot during an event at Utah Valley University. The founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative student organization, is known for his outspoken views on politics, culture, religion, often taking his messages to colleges and universities, sparking sometimes pretty heated debates on campus. Let's get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky. Aaron, what do you know?
Two law enforcement sources confirmed to ABC News, Kira, that Charlie Kirk indeed was shot as he was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University. You're right, his presence there at the university had divided the campus, according to an article in the school paper where there were people on both sides debating whether he should even be allowed to bring his message, often loyal to the agenda of President Trump, to campus. But he was speaking at this outdoor event in a courtyard. We've seen some video of that event. A shot rings out. The entire crowd goes scattering.
All right, family. So this is tough. I have been debating to do this video. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, not do it. I'm just mind blown. I know most of you probably already know, majority, Charlie Kirk is dead. And it's wild to me. It's hard to make sense of it because at 12:14 p.m. as of today, which is Wednesday, Charlie Kirk was on stage at Utah Valley University. He was a 31-year-old father, a husband, a man who simply wanted to debate, and a man of God, man of faith. And they killed him. They shot him in the neck. And what happened in that moment, I seen the video. I couldn't stomach the video. The more, you see the video, I was scrolling through X, formerly known as Twitter, but the more I was scrolling and I come across it, trying to dodge it, trying not to look at it. And then when I finally looked at it, I didn't know what to think. Horrifying. It's one of the most shocking public assassinations in modern American history. And this is the timeline of how it all went down. And you have to understand what Charlie was doing. This was his mission, creating an open platform for dialogue. And it was his American comeback tour for the fall of 2025. And the stop at Utah Valley University was one of his classic open forum events. UVU is a big public school, exactly the kind of place Charlie thrived, a place where you get a mix of people who support you and people who really don't support you. In this case, support Charlie Kirk. An event was outside in a public square, a table, a chair. And that sign, I'm pro-life, male and female are the only genders. The American dream is real. Prove me wrong. It was pure Charlie, confident, willing to talk to anyone, no matter if you disagreed. He was open to the possibility of being wrong. But the beauty of it is you get two different perspectives that can have a productive conversation to then learn from each other, right? And even involving his biggest critics that were willing to, talk and debate him. And by noon, a few hundred people were there. You could feel it in the air, the curiosity, the tension, the excitement. Now, security, there were some campus police there, about 6 officers, some in uniform, some not. He had his own private guys as well, but looking back on it, it just wasn't enough. Not for what was coming. It was an open event, no metal detectors, no bag checks, open in every sense of the word, and for about an hour. And that was the mind blowing part for me. No checking, no bags, no detectors, no nothing. For about an hour, it was a debate, a passionate one. Students asking about the economy, social issues, all of it. And he was in his element, and the whole time Charlie was on that stage making his case with no idea that 200 yards away, someone was looking at him through a scope. And it was just after 12:14 p.m. Charlie was leaning into the mic, answering a question, and then it happened. And it wasn't a huge boom, and for most people, it was just a crack, a weird sound out of place, like a firecracker or a piece of equipment breaking. But on stage, it was instant. His body just went rigid, his head snapped back. The video is horrific. I am not going to play the video. I do not want to share any type of video on that platform, nor do I believe that YouTube condones in that type of video. And I can't stomach to even share or look at the video again. Look, I've seen a lot of wild things online, but that video is one of the worst I've ever witnessed. You can feel it down my bones, the chill down my spine, to the point where I'm just heartbroken. He didn't even make a sound, he just collapsed. And for a second, there was total stunned silence. The student at the mic just froze. His security team was the first to move, but even they looked confused for a second before the horror set in. And it was only when one of them screamed, "Gunshot, get down," that the whole crowd just broke. Pure panic, a wave of terror, people scrambling, dropping their phones, screaming. No one knew where it came from. Was a shooter in a crowd, on a roof? Was it just the beginning? It was just chaos. Up on the stage, his team was around him trying to help, but you could see it was bad, and an event about ideas had turned into an execution, let alone a political assassination. Check it out.
I heard a loud bang, which I figured a shot would be a little bit louder, but I just saw it hit him in the chest, and then all of a sudden just tons of blood gushing right out where his heart is, and then he like fell over and slumped down, and everybody got down and was screaming, and then we all ran.
Can you describe just, did he appear to be moving afterward, or what?
Not at all. I personally believe he was dead on impact.
We almost seen the president of the United States assassinated, President Donald J. Trump. Thank God he's alive. I mean, it doesn't bring Charlie Kirk back, but the point is we've seen CEOs murdered from the healthcare when it came to what's that guy? United Healthcare CEO that passed away. Brian Thompson from Luigi Maggiani in December 4th, 2024. So we done seen CEOs murdered. Just a few months, a couple of Democrats in Minnesota were assassinated. The escalation is real, and it's terrifying. It's become normal to see political violence, and when someone like Charlie Kirk is targeted, someone not doing what I believe is God's work, is just his different. He was bold about his faith. He was very gung-ho on telling the truth, and being the truth. And he wore his belief in Jesus proudly, and now his life has been taken, and that's hard to accept. He's basically a modern martyr. And what really gets me is how people respond to tragedies like this. People are really celebrating a death of a husband, a father, a man of faith, who embraced even those who disagreed with him. No type of personal vendetta, just wanted great conversation that was viable to get your mind going, right? Like what they call it in school, like icebreakers that turned into um just passionate conversations, right? And ideologies. But now it's like we're in a world where ideologies, the same ideology he would love to talk about, he was passionate about doing what he loved to do. An ideology such as a political assassination has taken him down. And where can it be where we have the right of free speech and we be taken down for it? He didn't hold a gun. He just had his voice and he was inspiring those, and those who rock with him and those who didn't rock with him, he loved and embraced them no different. And that's beautiful, right? That's mature adult, a real faith-based working man would hug and love his enemy. In this case, his enemy, his biggest critics who would debate him. And the media can't even fake sympathy anymore. Because even now, outlets like MSNBC are focused more on how this might affect Trump politically than the fact that a man was just assassinated. It's disgusting. I believe that network needs to go. That network needs to be held accountable in regards of this is not the time for that. This is not the time for um spreading agendas and media biases. This is not the time for that. I'm talking about content creators, big networks. This is not the time. It's disgusting. And I remember when the United Airlines CEO was killed. The Democrats was out there, the left was out there trying to justify it, blaming him for healthcare costs, even idolizing the killer. And even I wouldn't be surprised if we seen the same thing here. People try to spin this to make it about hate speech instead of mourning a man's life. Well, check it out.
After one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
But following up what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
People are really upset, and they start lashing out online, and they start blaming others for what led up to this. I mean, we see it when Democrats are targeted. We see it when Republicans are targeted. And we're seeing it with this. Anna Paulina Luna, who's a representative from Florida, has put this out on X. She's blaming the Democrats. She's blaming the rhetoric the Democrats use calling Republicans fascist. She's saying, you are the hate. If you're in the FBI field office and you see this sort of stuff bubbling up online, how worried do you get about somebody taking up the cause of Charlie Kirk and lashing out on somebody who's seen as a Democrat or something?
Family, spiritual warfare is a real thing. People battle with inside the mind, body, and their soul. We have some demonic people, and they battle with deep, dark battles, and then they outwardly execute on those battles they have inside, which can be heartless and cold, right? Because how do we get here, right? And I'm independent, but it's the left. It's the extreme radical left Democrats who basically invoke violence. I'll give you an example. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, right? To the point where when someone doesn't agree with you, you demonize them, right? That's the Democratic Party. But Charlie Kirk was bigger than that. He didn't care to demonize you. He cared about understanding. He was empathetic. He was putting himself in your shoes while debating you, but also getting you to have thought-provoking conversations with him that were engaging. But it still was respect and love at the end of it. It just was getting you to see a different perspective. Because a lot of times we can get caught up in our own perspective. That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's the right thing. We can look at something a certain way. It doesn't mean it's the right way to go about things. And that's the beauty of having different perspectives, right? That's the uniqueness, right? Because someone can give you a perspective on something you didn't know that would be more effective and efficient and more optimistic or more efficient when it comes to growth spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and opening your mind and the transforming and renewing of your mind by giving you some information just by having a productive conversation, even if it's different perspectives, to make you a better person, and both parties open to the possibility of being wrong. How many families, no family is perfect. How many families go through disagreements and there's no love lost at the end? They dap it up, they go home, they hug it out, and you're entitled to support or rock with whatever you're passionate about respectfully, as long as it's not hurting nobody, not killing nobody. But man, the Democrat Party has been seen. I'll give you another example. Black Lives Matter. Why, when Dakara Thompson got killed from a illegal immigrant recently, look her up. I did a video on it. You can go see it. Why, when she got killed, a black young woman by a illegal immigrant, why weren't Black Lives Matter there to support life? Right? They're about Black Lives Matter, and there shouldn't be no killing, they shouldn't be harmed, they shouldn't be targeted. But why it only accounts for rioting and raiding and standing up when it becomes this white supremacy ideology of a white man beating on a black person and all of this divisive rhetoric? Why can't it just be all life, all human life, all life matters? But if you're going to stand on the Black Lives Matter rhetoric, then let it be equal accountability all across the board, not just when there's a white person, an unfortunate situation where it may involve a white person and a black person. If you care about Black Lives Matter, it doesn't matter. But if a black life has been taken down or a black life has been lost due to an unfortunate situation like a killing or a murder, it doesn't matter if it's legal immigrant, it doesn't matter if it's black on black, it doesn't matter, none of that. Black Lives Matter, right? But the narrative don't fit the media. It only fits it when it's a black and white thing. And it pushes the ideology of hate, where it makes this black going against white, and then this gender war that's just divisive and just divides the country. And we're broken more than ever. We have public officials getting politically assassinated. What are we doing in Congress when they try to hold a moment of prayer, of silence for Charlie Kirk? You could hear the disrespect. People shouting over a moment of prayer for a husband, a father who was murdered. And this is what we come to. It's not just politics anymore. It's moral decay. And let me be clear, I don't know who did this. We don't know yet the shooter's motivations, but I hope justice is served more than anything. I'm thinking about Charlie's wife, kids, his friends. They lost someone irreplaceable. His wife and his kids were at the university when he was talking. They were there on his tour. They were with him on his tour. Check it out, man.
I would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Let's, wait a minute. The House will be in order. 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 We will join prayer right after this.
And still, I believe, though, his mission will continue, Charlie Kirk's. His influence on Gen Z, especially young men, is not going away. He built a legacy in just 31 years that most people never achieve. And this is what made me. I used to be on a Democratic plantation, right? Come from a black family. They're pro-Democrat. And I became independent. But when has there never been when has there not have to at least been a partisan understanding from both parties of not killing individuals because of their beliefs? Right? That's an amendment right. But when you have individuals calling Trump a fascist, a Hitler, a tyrant, and individuals protesting Tesla and wanting to take down Elon Musk and all these threats, and Donald Trump shall be removed, and there's no respect for the presidency. But Donald Trump almost got assassinated. You cannot tell me this all having not stemmed from some place somewhere like that, from the far left. But look, Charlie Kirk, he was fearless. He went into places where he wasn't welcome, stood tall in his beliefs. That's something to admire. Nobody should be killed for their opinions, and that's what this boils down to. He had courage. So that's all I have to say. I might keep talking about this in the coming days. A lot to talk about, but I just want to say a prayer before I close this video. I rebuke the demonic energy. I rebuke extreme ideology that leads to hate crimes. I rebuke divisive and hateful rhetoric. And I pray for Charlie Kirk's family, his wife, his children, friends, loved ones. I pray that they heal. I pray that they be watched over. I pray that they be covered with love, genuine love, protection, guidance through this hard, trying time. I pray that the full armor of God be put on them. Breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation, belt of truth, protecting them from lies and deception, and the gospel of peace at their feet. I pray that that the peace that has been left by the higher power, they are able to sustain and exercise that peace that we have been blessed with to be sustained. And I pray that you watch over them and protect them from harm's way, deliver them away from temptation, and deliver them from evil. And I pray that for anyone who's watching this as well and their loved ones, on that note, family, catch you in the next one. Peace.